Hello, children. We are back on the road to Wonder Woman 1984, and today we are talking about Suicide Squad, which was released in 2016, directed by David Ayer, which is a crock of shit, and I'll talk about that in a second. But this is the continuation of the DCEU after for the record, didn't they say that they changed the DCE, like the name of the DCEU? Didn't they? Isn't it called like the Worlds of DC? That's garbage. I just prefer DCEU better. That's just so much better. But this is the continuation of the DCEU, and this tells the story of Amanda Waller, played by Viola Davis, who is trying to get a team together to, like, because they're trying to prevent what happened to Batman v Superman again. So they're like, oh, well, what happens if Superman, like, loses control? Well, now we have a plan for that. And there's, like, this movie's very confusing, and it's actually very hard for me to explain. Things blow up, and the Suicide Squad has to stop it. Pretty much. So what do I think of Suicide Squad? Well, first of all, before I get into what I think about it, let me describe the controversy behind this movie. So, this movie was released, and the opinions of the movie were said. Then it was confirmed that, oh yeah, there's like a lot of this movie missing from the movie, the final cut of the movie. There's a lot missing from it. And David Ayer came out and said, yeah, that is true. There is a lot of missing. And he has since 2016 been advocating for a David Ayer cut. And so have a lot of other fans. And with the day that Zack Snyder got his Snyder cut announced, people were advocating, or David Ayer came out on Twitter, was like, oh, how about I get my director's cut? And before, I was like, does Suicide Squad really need a director's cut? And then when apparently there was like a leak way back when that was like, oh yeah, Suicide Squad was very different. Like, Enchantress wasn't even gonna be like the big villain. Apparently Darkseid was supposed to show up, so something along those lines. I was like, what the fuck? And basically the way this went was they finished shooting the movie, and then Warner Brothers stepped into the editing room and was like, actually no, David Ayer, go fuck yourself, we're gonna finish the movie. First of all, Warner Brothers can kindly go fuck themselves. I can't stand Warner Brothers. This is the same shit they did to Zack Snyder with Justice League, only it was worse. Because with Zack Snyder, he left his own project due to family personal reasons, which I'll get to in Justice League when we get there. And instead of delaying the movie, they just said, oh no, we're gonna bring in a totally different director, change your fucking movie, and say, oh yeah, we'll release it. How disrespectful is that? But that's for Justice League when we get there. In terms of Suicide Squad, this is the same thing. Why are you granted? It's one thing if the movie was bad, but don't let the studio be the judge of that. Let the audience be the judge of it. Why are you hiring a director if you're just gonna edit the shit yourself? Or why are you hiring editors if you're just gonna edit the movie yourself to the way you like it? What is the point of that? I'm tired of fucking studios giving us movies that are just either reshoots or edited, and so many things are taken out, and it's to the point where the movie's not even the same anymore as the director wanted it. If a director is being hired to make a movie, let them make a fucking movie. Don't sit there in the editing room and fucking edit it to the point where it's not their vision. It's your vision. And when you watch this movie, it feels like a studio vision. It doesn't feel like somebody who actually gave a shit. Moving on from that, what are my opinions on Suicide Squad? I think this movie's a fucking mess. Is it bad? Is it great? Fuck no, it's not. Is it good? It's okay, but it is a fucking mess. Let me talk about the things that I like first. First of all, I think the acting, for the most part, is okay. It is. There's not a bad performance. I would say everyone in this movie does a solid enough job. The standouts for me, Viola Davis, no question, as Amanda Waller. She kicks so much ass. She is so legit. She's badass. I love her as a villain. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn is really good. She reminds me a lot of the animated series, and this is my favorite incarnation of Harley Quinn in the DCEU. I mean, like, obviously, nothing is gonna top the Batman animated show, but it, like, okay, what am I trying to say here? Okay, I'm not reviewing Birds of Prey, so, or again, I should say, so I'm just gonna say, like this is the better version of the two, because the version of Harley Quinn that we got in Birds of Prey was a very different version of her. So I prefer this version over her, because, I don't know, to me this one just reminds me more of the animated show than Birds of Prey did. Birds of Prey just felt really toned down for her. Will Smith is Deadshot. Great. I really enjoy his character. Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. I actually feel like he's very entertaining, and you guys know how I feel about Jai Courtney if you saw our review for Terminator Genisys. I don't like him, but I like him in this. He's really funny. He brings a lot of energy. He has actually a couple of really funny jokes. I don't know the actor's name who plays El Diablo, but I liked El Diablo a lot. I enjoyed his screen presence and his character. I liked his backstory a lot. It's a really dark backstory. I enjoy that. The cinematography, I think, is really nice. It looks like a really nice... What am I... English. It's a nicely shot movie. The action sequences are also really nicely shot. The ending, I think, is really poorly shot, but the first big action sequence in the city I like a lot, and the one where they're like in the building fighting off the putties I really liked also. What else? I also like the dynamic where the characters were all trying to think about ways to escape, but they realize, oh shit, we can't because we're gonna die if we do. So I liked that dynamic. There are also some story elements that I enjoy a lot. I enjoy the thing with Deadshot and his daughter. I like that a lot. They touch on the Joker Harley Quinn thing here a little bit. And what we do see, I did like. Yeah, that's about it. Negatives. Okay. This is gonna be mixed and then negative. Mixed. Let's talk about Jared Leto's the Joker. I don't hate his performance as the Joker. Why? Because there is nothing of him in this movie. He is in this movie for 10 minutes. For the 10 minutes he's in the movie, I think he does an okay job. But his full performance is not in this movie. It was cut down by Warner Brothers. Fuck you, Warner Brothers. I saw everybody saying, oh, he was awful, yada, yada, yada. Listen, you can't judge a performance that is not in the movie. And what I mean by that is the full performance is not there. That's like judging a preview or a snippet of a song before the song is actually released, and the snippet is god awful. But when the song comes out, the song itself is fucking awesome. Now, I'm not saying if we were to see Jared Leto's full performance, I'd be like, oh my god, he's fucking better than Heath Ledger. I'm just saying it could be a good performance. We just don't know because fucking Warner Brothers took out all of his scenes. So we don't know. That's what I'm trying to say. Before I get the dick suckers, ew, stop dick sucking Jared Leto. Dude, I'm not dick sucking Jared Leto. I'm just advocating for the fact that his performance was taken away from him. And all that work was washed down the drain because of Warner Brothers. Now let's move into the negative. The first act of this movie is fucking terrible. I mean, it's fucking terrible. The editing in the first act of the movie is so bad. It's literally worse than Rogue One. You know how I complain about Rogue One? How I always say, oh, it feels like a fucking pinball. We're going from this character to this character to this character to this character. Dude, Suicide Squad is worse. It's literally doom, 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 character arc, character arc, character arc, character arc. The way it introduces these characters is so lazy. It is so lazy. I really cannot stand the way these characters are introduced. Like Deadshot, I keep saying Deathstroke. Deadshot and Harley Quinn get good enough backstories. The rest of the characters, one scene, okay, you know who they are. No, you don't. The characterization in this movie sucks. The only reason you give a shit about characters is because of the performances within them. I like Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. Is there any character towards him? Probably not. He's a smartass that drinks beer and he likes pink unicorns apparently. Why? I don't know. El Diablo, he has the most interesting backstory out of everybody. He fucking murdered his entire family. He doesn't want to use his powers because of that. That is good. I feel like there's stuff left behind for Harley Quinn. I really do. Because you get 2 scenes with her in the Joker. Well, 3 scenes with her in the Joker. And that's just supposed to be like, oh, she's a broken character because of the Joker. That don't mean shit, bro. Stop it. The Joker, no characterization. I'm sorry, there is no characterization for the Joker whatsoever. Deadshot, again, he has his characterization with the daughter and shit. Oh, I didn't mention this in positives. I'm so sorry. Ben Affleck as Batman for the little bit he was in it, fucking awesome. But I wish there was more Batman in here. Like, this should have been a Batman movie with Suicide Squad. This should have been Batman Assault on Arkham. Like, if you guys have seen Assault on Arkham, you know exactly what I mean. It could have been a Suicide Squad movie, but have Batman as the antagonist. Kind of like how the new Suicide Squad game is gonna be, like, them versus Superman. Kind of something like that. You know, I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, the editing in the first act of this movie is rather awful. There's really poorly edited scenes. And the soundtrack for this movie, the music itself is good. It is good music. But the way they use it is so bad. There's a pop song every 10 minutes in the first act of this movie. They played, I think, what was it? They played Seven Nation Army with Without Me by Eminem and something else in the span of 10-15 minutes. Like, what? Oh my god. I really don't like that. They just use so many pop songs. So stupid, man. Why? You had a great score in Batman vs Superman and Man of Steel by Junkie XL and Hans Zimmer. And they couldn't come back to compose a better score than this? I don't know who did the score, but it was not good. There were some things that were good in terms of the score. Other than that, no. Let's talk about Enchantress. She's fucking terrible. I don't like her as a villain. And I know that she was done injustice. What I mean is that I know that there's better versions of this character. She was not good in this movie. She wasn't convincing as a villain. Some of the CGI with her was god-awful. I didn't give a shit about her brother. Whoever the fuck he was, I don't care. The end fight is god-awful. You can't see what the fuck is going on. It's just nothing but fog, rain, and wind. And it's not believable either. You can't convince me that this team would take out this supernatural fucking force. That's why I don't like the concept for this movie, because the concept for this movie is really unbelievable. If you had the Suicide Squad going up against Batman, yeah, I believe that they could take out Batman, because he's a human fucking being. Enchantress is like God. And how is she defeated? Oh yeah, Harley Quinn takes her out. Yeah, okay, bro. That's like fucking Robin taking out Darkseid. And that's not me throwing shade at Robin. I'm just saying. It's really unbelievable. Robin taking out Darkseid by himself with no help from anybody. That would never happen, bro. Quote me on that. Also, the post-credit scene. I love the post-credit scene because it sets up Justice League. It's set up for fucking disappointment, but it's set up for Justice League. But the thing that frustrates me about that post-credit scene is like, bro, why wasn't this the setup for the whole movie? Amanda Waller talks to Batman and tells him that, oh, she's afraid that people are going to have her head now because they know about the Suicide Squad. Why couldn't you work this around to be like, oh, What if she was setting up the Suicide Squad and people were going after her because of the fact that she set up the Suicide Squad? And she enlists Batman and tells her, listen, bro, you gotta hold it down. And Batman tells her, alright, I got you. But I think you should shut this shit down before it gets out of hand. And then when it does get out of hand, Batman goes and takes down the Suicide Squad. How hard is that? So fucking stupid. And you don't have Enchantress in this movie. Because it's really unbelievable that the Suicide Squad would fight Enchantress. It's unbelievable. I sat there like, this would never happen. This would never happen. This would never happen. I can believe that Wonder Woman can take on Doomsday by herself. And Superman. I'm done talking about Suicide Squad. This is more of a mess than Batman vs Superman is, I think. It's just this movie's a fucking mess, man. I really just... And it's funny, too. Back in 2016, I liked this movie. I was like, man, I don't understand the hate. I really enjoyed this movie for what it was. There were so many people that were telling me, oh, you're wrong, you're wrong. I was like, what? It wasn't that bad. It's not bad, but it's just a fucking mess. And now we're getting another Suicide Squad movie where it's supposed to address what happened, I guess. I don't know. It's directed by James Gunn. I really hope this is good because I really just want a good Suicide Squad movie. It's gonna be rated R from what I know. If they make it like the New 52 Suicide Squad, I won't complain. Because I love the New 52 Suicide Squad. It's fucking violent, it's brutal, and it's awesome. I've said my piece on Suicide Squad. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. Just like Batman v Superman. 6 out of 10. It's well shot. Some of the action sequences are entertaining. Some of the characters and performances are entertaining. But again, the story's a mess. The first act is garbage. Some of the editing is really bad. The ending is not good. And there's certain plot points that are just like, dude, really? But thank you guys so much. Again, we're on this bumpy road. Next week, Friday, maybe. Who knows? Depending on when I release Suicide Squad. I will be talking about Wonder Woman, the original Wonder Woman, and Kevin will be joining me, this fat bitch. He ducked me out on Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, but it's okay. I got him for Justice League. It's okay. So, thank you guys so much. I hope you guys are enjoying this road. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and be on the lookout for our video on Wonder Woman very soon. See ya.